Hey, I'm Scarlett, but my friends. Who am I kidding? My mom calls me Scar. I live with her. My dad left us for another woman. I'll never forgive him for that. In fact, I would rather have him dead. Scar, wake up! Time for school! My mom shouted up the stairs. I groaned and swung my legs out of bed and stood up. I walked to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, and washed my face. I walked into my room and looked in the mirror. I brushed my messy black hair and lined my dark green eyes with black eyeliner. I was always happy with how I looked. My pale skin made my hair stand out even more. I quickly pulled on some black jeans and a blue polo shirt with my rainbow Converse. I was quite short for a 16-year-old, 5'3". That was the only thing I hated about myself. I ran down the stairs, grabbing a pen for my schoolwork and a banana to eat on the way. Bye, Mom. Love you, I called, running out the door. I didn't hear her because I was already halfway down the road. I was quite happy to not have any friends. Who needs friends anyway? I arrived at school after finishing my banana and walked through the gates. The snooty popular girls stared at me and laughed. I shrugged it off. Mean girls. The bell rang and I walked to homeroom. I sat by myself at the corner at the back. After homeroom, I skipped to my first class, history, ignoring the stares from the jocks and the cheerleaders. I sat down in my seat at the back row. After everyone arrived, our teacher, Miss Davis, asked us quick questions. How many women did Jack the Ripper kill? Was one of the questions. My hand shot up. I knew the answer. 5. 5, 5, I said in my head. No one? Okay, she said. I groaned and put my hand down. Scarlett Jones, detention, and after school for trying to distract others learning. What? I shrieked. Don't make me make it 2 hours, she glared. I sighed and nodded. After school, I walked to my history class. Welcome, Scarlett. Sit, she said. I sat on the first row. Now just sit. For an hour? I asked. She nodded. After that hour had passed, she finally spoke up. Okay, Scarlett, you can go. I nodded and walked out of the classroom and out of school. It was already dark. As I started to walk home, I saw the park, the shortest shortcut. I walked through the park and felt like someone was watching me. I kept walking until I was grabbed around the waist. Hey, let me go, I said. The person was a guy, or a very strong woman. No, I think you should go to sleep, Scarlett, he said, holding a knife to my neck. Then he put his lips against my neck. Actually, you're pretty. I might have some fun with you. He laughed and let me go. I turned around to look at him. I saw a horrific grin and then he was gone. I sighed in relief and rubbed my neck. What did he mean by have some fun? I ran home nearly crying. I slammed the door and ran to my room. Scarlett, honey, what's wrong? I heard my mom yell. But I just cried at the thought I had almost been killed. I couldn't tell her. She wouldn't believe me. That night I had a bad dream. A nightmare. I dreamed I was tied up and tortured. I woke up sweating. I looked at my clock and saw it was Saturday. I heard sobbing from downstairs. I went downstairs and saw my mom crying. Mom, what's wrong? I asked, hugging her. Your dad, he was killed last night. I bit my lip. Oh, Mom, I whispered, hugging her. I stopped. My dad lived very close to us. Mom, have they caught the killer? I asked. She shook her head. I bit my lip. A killer, loose in our neighborhood. Great. Mom, go and lie down. I'll make you some coffee. She nodded and went to the sofa and laid down. After I made Mom her coffee, I went on a walk. I walked around the park inside. It was only 6 a.m., so no one was around. I sat on the bench inside. Hey, gorgeous, someone whispered behind me. I turned slowly and couldn't believe what I saw. The guy from last night. Only he didn't look that scary in the light. His skin was as white as snow and his hair was burned black. His eyes were black rings and he didn't blink. His cheeks had been cut from the lips. He didn't look that bad. Actually, he was beautiful. Who are you? I asked, standing up. You don't need to know that, he smirked. Twirling his knife in his hand, I walked up to him. He looked at me. Look, to be honest, I don't give a crap. Just leave me alone, I growled. He grinned, then ran off. I got back home and found my mother had calmed down. I was reading a magazine. Hi, Scar. Are you okay? She asked. I smiled and nodded. Your cousins are coming over soon, she smiled. Ugh, Danny and Kaylee? I asked. She nodded. I hated my cousins. They were always better than me. I sighed and walked upstairs.